He was 74 years old, a retired engineer who had spent decades solving complex problems with precision and logic. But for 4 long years, there was one problem he believed he could never solve. His intimate life was gone. No desire, no energy, no spark. It wasn't just about intimacy, it was about feeling alive. That part of him had faded, and he quietly accepted it as just part of getting old. Then, everything changed. One small addition to his morning routine, something simple, natural, and already in his kitchen, triggered a shift he never thought possible. 2 weeks later, he picked up the phone to call me. His voice shook, not from fear, but from joy. "Doctor, it happened. I feel like I'm 30 again." In my 30 years as a urologist, I've received thousands of calls, but that one, I will never forget. Most men over 60 believe decline is inevitable. They're told it's aging, stress, or fate. But here's the truth: decline is not destiny. Hidden in your refrigerator may be the key to restoring powerful blood flow, youthful energy, and the confidence you thought was gone forever. This isn't a pharmaceutical shortcut, it's not a supplement scam, it's an elixir with centuries of history, now confirmed by modern science. Today, I'm going to reveal exactly what it is, why it works even for men in their 70s and 80s, and how to use it to unlock results in as little as 2 weeks. I'll show you real patient transformations and the science that explains them, in terms anyone can understand. If you believe life after 60 should be full of vitality, not decline, hit the like button now so more men can discover this. Subscribe and turn on notifications, because what I'm about to share could rewrite the way you age. And by the end of this video, you'll understand why even seasoned doctors are stunned by this humble red drink. Stay with me, because in the next part, I'm going to expose the hidden epidemic quietly stealing vitality from millions of men, and why no one is warning you about it. In my decades of practice, I've seen a pattern so clear it's impossible to ignore. Men over 60 start to lose something more important than muscle, more important than flexibility. They begin to lose the lifeblood of their health, efficient circulation. This decline doesn't just touch the bedroom, it spreads quietly into every corner of life. The heart begins to work harder just to do its job. The brain receives less oxygen and nutrients, and focus slips. Muscles tire faster, recovery slows, and energy drains away. Intimacy fades not because desire is gone, but because the body can no longer deliver what the mind remembers. The hidden culprit? A sharp, steady decline in nitric oxide production. This isn't a supplement you buy. It's a gas your own body makes, a signal that tells blood vessels to relax and open so life-giving blood can surge through them. By the time you hit 65, your nitric oxide production is often less than half of what it was in your 20s. Without it, your vessels stiffen, blood pressure rises, and tissues starve for oxygen. Here's the tragedy. This decline is rarely even mentioned in routine checkups. Instead, men are handed pills that force the heart to work harder or artificially stimulate blood flow without fixing the underlying damage. At best, these are temporary patches. At worst, they leave you dependent without ever restoring your natural function. But it doesn't have to be this way. Nitric oxide production can be revived. Blood vessels can regain their flexibility, circulation can be restored. And when it happens, it transforms not just performance, but your entire health. In the next part, I'm going to take you on a journey back in time to show you where this natural solution began, how it fueled warriors and nobles alike, and why modern science is only now catching up. And if you're ready to be one of the men who refuses to accept decline, type "I refuse" in the comments so I know you're still with me. Long before science could measure blood flow or name the molecules that control it, ancient civilizations were already harnessing a strange, deep red drink to push the human body beyond its limits. In ancient Rome, soldiers were given this elixir before battle. They didn't know what nitric oxide was, but they knew what it did. It gave them endurance to march for miles in armor, strength to fight longer, and clarity to make decisions when fatigue should have taken over. Centuries later, in 18th century Europe, it found its way into the kitchens of the elite. Physicians of the time prescribed it to men and women suffering from sluggish blood and weakened vigor. They didn't have microscopes to see the blood vessels widening, but they could see what happened. Faces regained color, energy returned, and stamina improved. Now, modern science has stripped away the mystery. We know this drink is packed with natural nitrates, raw fuel your body turns into nitric oxide. And nitric oxide is the master signal that tells your arteries to open wide, letting oxygen-rich blood rush to the brain, the heart, the muscles, and yes, the organs of intimacy. When you drink it, you're not forcing the body to work harder. You're giving it exactly what it needs to work like it did years, even decades ago. It's like turning the ignition on a classic engine that hasn't run in years, hearing it roar back to life with the right fuel. For decades, this power sat hidden in plain sight, overshadowed by quick-fix pills and expensive treatments. But those quick fixes, they can't nourish your cardiovascular system the way this elixir can. In the next part, I'll show you real men in their 60s, 70s, and beyond, who went from giving up hope to feeling like they had stepped back into their own bodies again. And if you think you know what this red elixir is, write your guess in the comments right now. I want to see how many of you are right. When I first began recommending this elixir, I expected modest results, a little more energy, maybe better blood pressure. But what happened with my patients went far beyond my expectations. Jose, 72, came into my office, slouched, tired, and convinced his best years were gone. In the first week, he called to say he felt more awake in the mornings. By the second week, his blood pressure readings had dropped enough for his primary doctor to consider lowering his medication. By the third week, his voice was full of excitement. He had woken up with a spontaneous morning erection for the first time in years. Michael, 68, had quietly stepped away from intimacy for more than 2 years. His confidence was gone, but within weeks of starting the elixir, he wasn't just performing again. He was reconnecting with his partner emotionally in a way he hadn't in years. "It's like I've stepped back into my own body," he told me, his eyes bright. And then there's Peter, 74. He had given up his daily walks because of constant fatigue. Just 3 weeks into this routine, he was walking 2 miles without stopping. Not only did his energy return, but so did his intimate life. These aren't isolated miracles. They're predictable results when you restore the body's natural ability to circulate blood powerfully and efficiently. If hearing these stories gives you even a flicker of hope, hit the like button now, so more men can hear that it's not too late to change. And in the next part, I'm going to explain exactly why these results happen. Not in medical jargon, but in simple, clear terms that will make you understand how this works in your own body. An erection is not just a reaction to desire. It is a precision event of the human body, and at the center of it all is blood flow. For that blood to reach where it needs to go, 3 things must happen together. First, your body must release nitric oxide, the chemical signal that tells blood vessels to relax and open. Second, your heart must pump strong enough to push that blood with force. Third, your blood vessels must be flexible and clear enough to let it flow without resistance. When you're young, these 3 steps happen almost automatically. But as you age, nitric oxide production drops sharply. The lining of your blood vessels, the endothelium, becomes less responsive, and the vessels themselves grow stiff. That means even if the heart is pumping, the blood can't reach its destination with the same power. This is where the elixir works its magic. It's loaded with natural nitrates, the raw material your body uses to make nitric oxide. Think of it as flipping the master switch that tells your vessels to open wide again. The result? Stronger, faster blood flow, not just to the organs of intimacy, but to your brain, muscles, and heart. Modern imaging studies prove that even in men over 70, regular intake of nitrate-rich foods restores endothelial function, lowers blood pressure, and improves vascular flexibility in just weeks. This isn't about forcing your body. It's about reminding it how to work the way it once did. And when your circulation is restored, performance, stamina, and confidence follow naturally. In the next part, I'll take you beyond the bedroom to show you how this same process can transform your mind, your body, and your future. When you restore blood flow, the effects reach far beyond intimacy. They transform your entire life. One of the first places men notice the change is in their mind. More oxygen and nutrients reaching the brain means sharper focus, better memory, and clearer thinking. Many of my patients tell me they feel mentally switched on again, able to concentrate longer without the mental fatigue that used to slow them down. Then comes the physical stamina. Improved circulation delivers more oxygen to muscles during activity, reducing that heavy, burning feeling and speeding up recovery afterward. Men who once avoided walks or light exercise often find themselves moving with ease, even enjoying physical activity again. This return of movement isn't just about exercise. It's about freedom. Freedom to travel, to dance, to play with grandchildren without feeling drained. The benefits also run deep in the cardiovascular system. Healthier, more flexible arteries reduce strain on the heart and lower blood pressure, lowering the risk of heart attacks, strokes, and vascular disease. In other words, the same circulation that powers intimacy is the foundation of your overall health. When you see the whole picture, intimacy becomes more than just a private matter. It's a vital sign of how well your body is functioning. Fix the circulation, and you don't just revive one part of your life. You reignite your entire system. In the next part, I'm going to break down the myths that have kept countless men from discovering this, so you can separate fact from fiction and take control of your own health. And if you want more people to understand that performance is a sign of total body health, share this video right now. Over the years, I've heard the same objections again and again. And I can tell you, most of them are nothing more than myths that keep men trapped in decline. The first myth is that natural solutions are just placebo. This one crumbles under the weight of decades of research. Clinical studies show that dietary nitrates from this elixir measurably raise nitric oxide levels, lower blood pressure, and improve arterial flexibility. These are not opinions. They're results you can measure in a lab. The second myth is that age makes improvement impossible. I've had men in their 80s see significant gains in energy, stamina, and performance within weeks. The truth is, while arteries may stiffen with age, they retain the ability to respond if given the right signal. The problem isn't age, it's lack of activation. And the third myth is the most dangerous. I'll just take a pill. Pills force blood flow artificially, but if your blood vessels are damaged or inactive, they can't give you the full result. It's like putting a turbocharger on an engine that hasn't been serviced in years. You might get a short burst, but you won't get sustained performance. The elixir, on the other hand, works from the inside out, restoring your own system so it performs naturally and consistently. If any of these myths have been holding you back, drop a comment telling me which one you're letting go of today. And in the next part, I'll give you a precise blueprint for using this elixir to get the best results possible, step by step. To get real, measurable results from this elixir, precision matters. Random, occasional use will not give you the same transformation as a consistent, structured routine. Here's exactly how to do it. If you're using fresh juice, take 5 to 7 ounces every morning. This creates a steady baseline of nitrates in your system so your body can keep producing nitric oxide all day. If fresh juice isn't practical, use a high-quality beetroot powder. 1 measured scoop in water each morning works just as well. For enhanced performance before intimacy, take an additional serving in 90 to 120 minutes beforehand. This window allows your nitrate levels to peak and nitric oxide production to be at its strongest. To make it even more effective, pair it with a vitamin C-rich fruit like an orange, kiwi, or strawberries. Vitamin C helps convert nitrates into nitric oxide more efficiently, making your blood vessels open even wider. Consistency is everything. The biggest improvements happen when you do this daily for at least 2 to 3 weeks without skipping. This gives your endothelium, the inner lining of your blood vessels, time to become more responsive and flexible again. Stopping too soon or missing days will blunt your progress. In the next part, I'll walk you through safety considerations so you can start confidently and avoid the few situations where caution is needed. And if you're ready to commit to a daily routine, type "I'm in" the comments so I know you're serious about taking control of your health. This elixir is natural and safe for most men, but there are a few things you need to know before making it a daily habit. The first is harmless but surprising: pink or reddish urine and stool. This is simply the pigment from the vegetable passing through your system. It's completely normal and nothing to be concerned about, though some men mistake it for blood. Knowing this in advance will save you unnecessary worry. If you have a history of kidney stones, you should use this elixir in moderation. Beets contain oxalates, which can contribute to stone formation in those who are predisposed. It's not a problem for everyone, but if you've had stones before, talk with your doctor and adjust your intake accordingly. Men on blood pressure medication should monitor their readings closely. Because the elixir naturally lowers blood pressure, combining it with medication may amplify the effect. This can cause dizziness or lightheadedness in some cases. If you notice these symptoms, reduce your dose and consult your physician. When starting out, begin with a smaller portion for the first few days to gauge your tolerance. If you experience no discomfort, move to the full recommended serving. Some people may have mild stomach upset at first. If that happens, take it with food rather than on an empty stomach. Used correctly, this elixir is not just safe, it's one of the most powerful allies you can have for vascular health. In the next part, I'll show you how to combine it with 3 simple lifestyle habits that multiply its benefits and create a transformation far beyond performance alone. The elixir on its own can spark change, but when you pair it with the right lifestyle habits, the results are multiplied. Faster, stronger, and longer lasting. The first habit is daily movement. A simple 20 to 30 minute walk is enough to stimulate blood flow, strengthen your heart, and keep your vessels responsive. When you combine that with the nitric oxide boost from the elixir, your arteries stay more flexible and your circulation stays active throughout the day. The second habit is quality sleep. Your body produces and regulates nitric oxide most efficiently when you're deeply rested. It's during sleep that your blood vessels repair and your hormones balance. Men who pair the elixir with consistent restorative sleep notice quicker gains in energy, stamina, and mood. The third habit is cutting out the foods that sabotage circulation. Fried foods, refined sugar, and heavily processed fats inflame and damage the endothelium, the thin inner lining of your blood vessels. Eliminating, or at least minimizing these foods, allows the elixir to work at full power, repairing and restoring vessel health from the inside out. These habits are simple, but their combined effect is profound. They create an environment where every drop of nitric oxide you produce is used efficiently, keeping your body younger, your mind sharper, and your performance stronger. In the next part, I'll shift your perspective completely by showing you why your body hasn't forgotten how to perform and how the right approach can wake up those dormant systems at any age. One of the greatest truths I've learned as a urologist is this: your body still remembers how to perform. Even after years of decline, even at 70, 80, or beyond, the systems that drive vitality are still there. They may be dormant, but they're not broken. Think of a classic car that's been sitting in a garage for decades. The paint is faded, the engine hasn't run in years, but with the right fuel, careful tuning, and a little attention, that engine can roar back to life. Your body works the same way. The muscles, the blood vessels, the nerve pathways, they're still intact. They simply need the right signal to wake them up. I've watched men who believed their intimate life was over experience complete turnarounds, stronger performance, renewed stamina, sharper mental focus. These weren't miracles. They were the predictable results of restoring circulation and reactivating nitric oxide production. The real enemy isn't age. It's the belief that age means inevitable decline. That belief makes men stop trying, stop seeking solutions, stop giving their bodies the chance to respond. But when you take consistent action, the body responds every time. In the next part, I'll give you a simple, structured 14-day challenge that will allow you to prove this truth to yourself, starting now. And if you're ready to commit to showing your body what it's still capable of, type "I'm ready" in the comments below. Now that you understand the science, the history, and the proof, it's time to put this into action. I'm challenging you to commit to a simple plan for the next 14 days, because in 2 weeks, you can see and feel the difference for yourself. Here's the challenge. Every morning, drink 5 to 7 ounces of fresh beet juice or 1 scoop of high-quality beetroot powder mixed with water. This will keep your nitrate levels high all day, feeding your nitric oxide production. If intimacy is planned, take an extra serving 90 to 120 minutes before. For an extra boost, pair it with a vitamin C-rich fruit like oranges, strawberries, or kiwi to speed nitrate conversion. Alongside the elixir, follow the 3 lifestyle habits we discussed: a daily 20 to 30-minute walk, 7 to 8 hours of restorative sleep, and removing fried foods, refined sugars, and heavily processed fats from your diet. Track your changes, energy levels, mood, stamina, and performance. In the first week, you might notice better morning energy, sharper focus, and improved blood pressure. By the second week, the effects often intensify: stronger performance, greater confidence, and a renewed sense of vitality. But here's the key: you must stay consistent. No skipping days, no giving up early. 14 days is the start, but it's also the proof that your body still works exactly the way it's supposed to when you give it what it needs. In the next part, I'll give you the final push, the motivation that makes it impossible to go back to the mindset of decline and inaction. And if you're accepting this challenge, comment "Challenge accepted" below, so I know you're serious. Every day I meet men who have quietly surrendered to the slow fade of their energy, their strength, and their desire. They've told themselves, this is just aging. They've accepted a smaller life, a life with less passion, less confidence, and fewer moments that make them feel truly alive. But I've seen the truth. I've watched men in their 70s and 80s wake up those dormant systems and take back the vitality they thought was gone forever. Not because of a miracle pill, not because of luck, but because they gave their bodies the signal, the fuel, and the support they needed to work the way they were always designed to. This elixir is not magic. It's science. It works because it restores what time and neglect have taken away. And when you combine it with movement, restorative sleep, and smart nutrition, the change doesn't stop in the bedroom. It ripples through your entire life. You'll feel it when you wake up, when you walk, when you think, and when you connect with the people you love. You have two choices. Wait another year, feeling the slow decline, or take the first step today. Imagine looking back just 14 days from now and realizing you've started a new chapter. One filled with energy, confidence, and strength you thought you'd never feel again. If you're ready for that chapter, take action right now. Click subscribe so you don't miss the next strategies I share. Hit like so this message reaches more men who need hope. And tell me in the comments, are you ready to reclaim your vitality?